Gentlemen, welcome back. We are taking this thing apart. Well, we already did take it all apart. As you can see, the entire Model 81 is in pieces, about as far down as I want to take it. There are a couple things we could go a little bit further on, but I'm not doing that. So what are we going to get done today? All the small parts are going to go in the tank over here. We're going to ultrasonic clean them. And basically we're just trying to get oil and grease off of it. That's all I'm doing with those. Then the small parts will go into a pot and we're going to boil them to convert any red rust to black rust. That's about a 30 or 45 minute boil. Once we're done there, we'll take them out and I'll show you guys the carding wheel, but we'll take them over to the milling machine and card them all off and see how they look. I think we're going to be able to convert a lot and make them look pretty again. There might be some rough spots. At that point, we will take some quad-aught steel wool, if they are still rough. Quad-aught steel wool and some sort of oil. Rub them down, see if we can get any of the rough spots out. And if there are some spots in the white, then we might touch them up with a little tiny bit of cold blue. But that's where we're at with all of the parts. Only other two things we got. Stock. My handguard came in from Numrich, and they called this a factory original, used factory original. The only downside is there's a chip here, but other than that, it looks to me less like factory, less used and more like new old stock, which is pretty cool. Really nice hardwood. So that one we're going to do BLO. We're just going to boil linseed oil that thing up until it looks nice. The original stock here, which is not the original stock, this is a Model 81 stock, but it's not serialized to this gun. So at some point in its life got a new stock. We're going to take that, we're going to sand it down, strip it to bare wood, and then BLO, boiled linseed oil, back up so the two of them match pretty well. You know, boiled linseed oil, it doesn't give it that immediate old school look. Now the reason old guns look the way they do is because boiled linseed oil oxidizes and turns red in the wood. That's why you get that beautiful rich red color. So in my time owning this gun, it'll probably turn red, but it's going to take a couple years. Either way, we'll get that done. The only thing that's left, the barrel over there, you can see a lot of, let me make sure, yeah, you guys can see that. The silver barrel over there has a lot of rough spots on it. We're going to chuck that in the lathe, turn it, and use some abrasive cloth. You can either use emery paper, like 400 grit steel, 400 grit sandpaper, or I like green Scotch-Brite. Usually, green Scotch-Brite will take, I don't know that that's true stainless steel. I put a little dab of cold blue in it, sort of turned it. I am not an expert in metallurgy, so I know they didn't have modern stainless steels back in 1930. So I'm not sure what the type of steel is, but it isn't blued and it's not supposed to be blued or rusty. So we're gonna bring it back to semi-shiny. If it's too pitted in any particular areas, we may go over it a little bit more, but I'm gonna try not to change any of the shape of the barrel. We don't wanna actually do any cutting on it, we just wanna polish it back up. That's it. That's what we got. We're still waiting on a couple parts. When they come in, we will rebuild everything. If you guys want to see us do a rebuild on camera, I could probably film it just in case. But let's get started. All of the small parts are going in the tank. We're gonna clean them. All right. So here's the barrel jacket, which, by the way, internally was filthy. But this is what we're working with. You can see light rust on it. Patina back, you can't see back there yet, but there's a little bit of patina back on that shoulder. And then everything kind of has this light brown, red rust. Hoping a boil will fix that. Let's grab the receiver. Yeah, I already did a little bit of work on the receiver, cleaning it because some of the parts were stuck. But we have, you can see up the flecking of a little bit of red rusty flecks up in here that need to be converted. There's a big spot on the back right there. I don't know if you guys can see that big spot where my thumb is. And I should have said this at the beginning, if anybody can help me find a scope mount for this, it's already been drilled and tapped for the, I think it's called a Stith, S-T-I-T-H, scope mount. If anybody has access to one or can find one, let me know. I will buy it off you because I would love to put a old Redfield or something on this. It'd be pretty neat. So, all right, let's get started. There's your before and after. Before, and let's see what the after will look like. All right, here's our stock. After a little bit of sanding, it still has some character to it, some bumps and scratches and whatnot. I'm not going to take those out. I like character on old wood. Old wood gives you wood. So I'm going to take this and BLO it. We'll show you that once it's done. Really quickly, I do want to throw this into the video. This is the boil setup that we used. This is a Mark Novak special boil tank. This is a rain gutter glued in with some silicone glue. I'm going to link his video down below showing how this is made. There's no reason for me to redo all of his work since his work is good on its own. Go watch his entire video on conservation, I think is what he calls it. It'll give you really good details on more of what we're doing here. Check out his whole thing. But yeah, this is all I did. This is like $5 worth of stuff. You throw this on a turkey fryer base, a propane burner. Let it come up to temp and boil, and then boil your parts for an hour. Take them out, dry them, cool them. Well, just cool them and card them. And some parts might take a boil, 2 boils, something like that. But this is it. You guys, you don't need to go get expensive bluing tanks. This worked perfectly for my home shop. And I have another 10 feet of additional gutter back there that I can use if this one fails in the future. So super easy. Just stick with this. It works great for the home shop. Here's what we got before we card. You can see all that sooty, black, powdery stuff on the outside, plus a little bit of yellowy goodness. I will take this, they gotta cool a little bit, then I'll take them, card them, and I'll bring them back and show you what it looks like. And then we're gonna, you okay? Then we're gonna take them and put them in the kerosene bath. I'll be right back. So here's what you got. You can see there's a little bit of rust left, but we should be able to card all that off. I'm not using gloves because I am not gonna rust blue this further. If you were rust bluing this any further, you would want to use nitrile gloves or something so you don't contaminate it with skin oils. But we're not rust bluing this. We're just taking it back to original finish as best we can. Let's do this. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, remember, we're working with something that is, it's got some pitting and some soft spots in it, but it really doesn't look bad now. Alright, so this, I'm going to do all of the carding in one go. This is going to go into kerosene for the night. Kerosene, let me just turn that off. That's what we got. I don't know if I can catch it in the light, but the rust is gone. You just got these spots where it's not as crispy blue as the factory bluing up here, but that's fine. So this will go in kerosene for the night. Kerosene primarily is a water displacing. So like WD-40 would also technically work since it's water displacing oil. But I have a couple big jugs of kerosene and I have heard that, and you know, I've done plenty of rust bluing. It kind of does help. Don't know what it does, but it kind of sets that blue. So let me throw this in kerosene. That'll take any of the water out, and tomorrow morning it'll look great. And then let me get to working on the other stuff. Look at that blue come right back out. And here that might need another boiling. right, here we go. This is everything after a boil, a card, and overnight in, over here you can't see, but overnight in a pool of kerosene. Hasn't been wiped off yet. Will need to be a nice and wiped off, but you can see, I hope y'all can see, that, well, I don't know if you can tell because I don't know if I showed it before, which is a shame. There was a lot of red rust all up in here, all under here. This, don't worry about, this is in the white. That actually goes up into the receiver, so you'll never see that. But there was red rust all up in here, under here, a lot of rust. And now, it's just nice and pretty black. The kerosene gives it the look that you're gonna get with some oil. It needs to be dried off, obviously. But this is the look you're gonna have, this nice, deep bluing that you're gonna get. It's gonna look like that when we oil and dry it, but that's what we got. So I'm gonna wipe all this stuff off and get it all put back together. All right, while we wait on those, so I just did the receiver and the barrel boiled card and carded, and they're sitting in kerosene for the night. While we wait on that to get done, we are going to clean up the barrel a little bit. You can see that there's a lot of corrosion up front here and a little bit back here. I just have this loosely held in the lathe. It's not centered perfectly. You'll see it's kind of lopsided as it goes. And we're not crunching the receiver or the barrel extension or anything. Nothing's going to get hurt here, but we're just going to go at it with a little bit of green Scotch-Brite, see if we can clean up both those sections. You can see the corrosion up here came off almost immediately. This one's a little bit worse for wear, but it actually doesn't feel too bad. I might go a little bit deeper, but you never want to take off too much meat. That's why Scotch-Brite's great. It won't take off enough meat to really make a difference. I'll see what it looks like. Well, corrosion back here looks much, much cleaner. And we're good up there. I'll oil it real quick, rub it down with the cloth, and we're good to go. Let me get some oil on it. I'm gonna run some Hoppe's number 9 across it. Give it a little oil. Hoppe's has a lot of good. Hoppe's is good at corrosion resistance. So it's good at taking off corrosion and whatnot. This will help clean it up just a little bit more. There we go. That smells like banana delicious. Barrel is done. We just got to. Oh, hold on. The barrel is done. We just got to clean the bore out, which is easy enough. I'll run a patch down it. All right. You can see the bluing turned out great. The receiver and the barrel just came out of kerosene. They're going to need to be get a wipe down, and then we're going to put. Tonight, I'm going to sit down and put everything back together slowly. Last pieces did come in finally. We have so this is as you can see, this is a king sight. It was the same cost as the original Remington, but it's kind of an upgrade. It has a little screw right there in the front, and you can change the little notch in the back to up or down, which is kind of nice. It might need a little bit of fitting, but it is what it is. I did get 2 screws. Actually, let me show you guys where that all came from. Hold on. If you guys are looking to source some really obscure parts, Outback Gun is where I got it from. It's not cheap. I will give it to them. They were not cheap parts, but they had them where nobody else did, so I bought them. The 2 screws came from a different company on eBay, and this screw, I don't remember what he told me. I'm gonna have to look at the invoice. It came off of a different gun. Hold on one sec. Let's see if it's on the invoice. This is a Remington Model 81 hand guard screw. When I was on the phone with him, he didn't know if he had one. I guess after I hung up, he found one. So this is the proper screw, a nice new rear sight. Remember, we found the rear sight stud, so we're going to reuse the original. If you are doing one of these and you need one, I have one. Just email me and I'll send it to you. First come, first serve. I'll leave a note if it's already gone. FYI. Screws are ready. Here is our front handguard. This has just been oiled linseed oil. That's all we did here. The stock is inside. It needs a couple more coats of BLO. I'll show you why when we go to shoot it, but that's what we got. The last thing we need, which we'll do a separate video on, is the tang screw. I'm gonna have to, if I can't find one on eBay, which I'm still trying, we'll have to make one using cloning one off of a Model 11, Remington Model 11. So, off camera, I'm going to sit down and put this together real quick. And next up, we'll either be throwing a screw in it, if I find one, or we'll be making one. That'll be the next video. And then after that, we'll do a test fire. So, all right, gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll see what it looks like when it's done. You can see the bluing turned out great. That's the main thing here. Is that bluing? Sure, it's in focus. Yeah, that bluing. I mean, boil card, literally, I don't know, an hour's worth of work. You boil for an hour. Card takes 20 minutes in the heat, and then you leave it in kerosene for an hour for the whole night, and it looks beautiful. So there we go. Oh, and barrel looks good too. We, as you just saw, we cleaned up the barrel. So, well, that's not in focus. Let's see. Ooh, we can go the whole length of that barrel. Looks great. So let me get this put together, and next video I'll see you guys. I'll show you guys how to make a screw on the lathe. So stay tuned.